debate. As we get on our buses, head back home tomorrow, I'm going to ask our production crew to go live. If you've got family back home, friends, other NHIers, again, we'll be on NHI TV, so youtube.com/NHI TV. We'll be on our Facebook page and Instagram live. And we're going to announce the winners of the individual awards. We've got some other awards, and then I'm sure what you all been waiting for, the champion for the 2022 Texas Great Debate. I cannot thank you all enough, but I just want to make sure that all regions are here. So, where is Austin? Where is Corpus? Where is RGV? Very nice. Where is San Antonio? So I just want to invite a very... So hold on. You owe an apology. I have North Texas and I was looking at it. My bad. Where is North Texas? Thank you. Hold on, where's the cheer? For you all that are first-time NHIers, and I shared that in 2020 we went virtual, 2021 we went virtual, but we had some LDZ programs, and we're back in person, and this work cannot happen when without strong partnerships of host institutions that open up their space so that we can stay in the dorms, use their facilities. And I want to invite our Executive Vice President up to the stage to give some remarks to you all as our future leaders, as well as introduce a representative from Shriner University. Ladies and gentlemen, Nicole Nieto.
Judge those finals today, and that was just incredible, and I'd like to congratulate all of you who participated throughout this whole program, and especially the volunteers. Please stand up and be recognized. Y'all just did a fantastic job. Before I do that, I'd like to thank, on behalf of the NHI Board of Directors, our President, Dr. Ernesto Nieto, I think you read Third Reality, who's my dad, and my brother Chris. Many family members are here today, and I'd like to thank for being part of this legacy and this tradition that was founded so long ago by the ideas of my grandparents from Houston, Texas. And then my father growing up in a particular environment where he learned to see the assets and the goodness in our community and the beauty of each person in his community. And he never wanted that light to be turned off. And his goal was to create something bigger and brighter and better, something aspirational that all of us could participate in together. So I'd like to thank so many partners. I know we have a board member, George Rodriguez here, ex officio, Anita Fernandez here. Tino's not with us, but Tino Villarreal, who does so much for us. And also many of our partners. Las Vegas Sands, State Farm is a national partner of us, and they want to be out at the programs this summer. Baker Hostetler, who provides all of our legal assistance and counsel. We just recently are going to be with an aerospace engineering company who reached out because they call me because they say, how can I get some of your students and your leaders to come work for us? And that's how you're seen. When you work on yourself, on your leadership skills, you begin to emerge in the community. And I had this, kind of moment this summer because we lost a very dear family friend who's an NHI and who went to the program many, many years ago. His name was James Adame. And there was something about James. He was just so even-keeled. And I just want to celebrate his memory because he was always there. He was always helping NHI. He did all of our marketing brochures. And he was my brother's best friend. And I heard that James became very ill, and he was in the hospital. And I got a call saying he's not going to make it. And I knew that my brother was going to be the only person sitting at his bedside. And I said to myself, I think it was 3 in the morning, and I said, I'm just going to show up. I'm just going to show up. And I got in my car at 3 in the morning, and I drove there. And when I got there, my brother was just standing there next to him at the hospital bed. And he looked at me, and just this disbelief came over his eyes, like, you're here. And I just quietly was with him all night, and our friend, we knew that he was gonna not make it, and he went on with God. But I said, I have to show up. And what you guys have done through this pandemic is show up. There's so many people who've checked out and are not in it to win it. Their brain is checked out, they're not in class, they're not doing anything. And I'm so proud to see this class of students here. And I just cannot say thank you enough to our volunteers because you showed up. And you showed up for the kids, for NHI, and to keep this organization going in a time that has been extraordinarily difficult on all of us. And I know many of you have lost people, you've lost so much, and yet here you are, and the only thing I've heard about this group is positive energy. I love being in this group because it's positive energy, and so the people who've helped you get here are feeding now off your energy, and that's the energy we need in our community to make things happen. So I'm so proud of you, and I congratulate you, and I just want to say that partners like Schreiner University who step up, and my daughter is a student here at Schreiner. She's getting ready to go. If you've met Paulina and the production in the back, she's getting ready to go off to Florence, Italy in July. I'm so excited for her. She'll be going for a month. And this university really cultivates relationships. And so when I met this gentleman, I thought, oh wow, he has a big title. He is the Vice President for Student Recruitment, External Affairs, Marketing, and Communications. And he deals with all fundraising and relationships. And I thought to myself, he's going to be, pretty high up there and everything. And, well, he's a big teddy bear. He is a guy who goes into the wilderness with his students. He's a big outdoors person. Well, I won't hold him against it because I'm a Longhorn, but he's an Aggie. And his grandchild is his biggest accomplishment, I'm sure he would tell you. And he's just a wonderful person, and I've really enjoyed working with him in the last couple of years as we've held these programs. And on Thursday, we're going to do our Texas Star Great Debate start, so we're going to have another 100 students coming in this Thursday. So it gives me great joy and pleasure to partner with Schreiner University. We cannot thank you and Adrian and all the staff that helped make this possible. So please help me in welcoming to the stage to address you, Mark Tusha.
walked into the CCAC today, and I saw all the little groups around. The thing that I was most impressed with was the energy. Just the noise and the happy sound. So I just remember back when I was in college, back when I was in high school, and you're all there, I don't think we had quite the energy that you have today. So I'm usually not allowed to stand behind the podium and the microphone, because when I get up here, I start crying. I tell a story and I start crying. So my daughter is all the time, you can't talk yet, and you just go back. So I promise I'm not going to cry today. So Shiner's proud as a partner with the National Hispanic Institute to host this 2022 Great Debate. I'm proud that your first time together in 3 years is back on Shiner. So when we got into COVID, one of the first things that we did was try to figure out how to bring our students back. Because what we knew was that for students to learn well, they had to be together. They had to be on campus with their teachers and their mentors and their friends. And we did everything possible to bring our students back. And I wasn't going to do this, but I have an opportunity to give a little Shriner commercial. So as Nicole says, I'm the vice president of students. So how many of you all have been on campus before? Anybody? A few hands up there. So when I first got on campus, it was 20 years ago. No, I don't look that old. And as Nicole said, I'm an Aggie. I went to Texas State. I worked at Texas State. I worked at UT Austin. I worked at A&M. And I married a Kerrville girl, and she drugged me home. We didn't think we were going to come back to Kerrville until we were retired. And at the time, we had a 5-year-old daughter and a 3-year-old daughter. And I got a call from a friend saying, there's a job open at China University in Kerrville. Do you want to take it? And I said, no, we're not ready to come back home. And so they convinced me to do an interview. And so when I was interviewing and walking across campus, I was listening to 2 teachers talk about a young lady that they shared in their class. And these teachers were talking, professors were talking about how to help her be successful. And I was listening to this conversation all the way across campus. And I was thinking that if I had professors who cared for me as much as these 2 professors cared for this young lady, I would not have failed out of college. You heard that right, I failed out of college. I went to A&M, I played a lot, Dixie Chicken, built bonfire, football games. Did a whole bunch of stuff that I probably shouldn't have done. And after 3 semesters, I got a letter from the dean saying, thank you for being here, but go have fun somewhere else. And after about a semester away, I realized really what I wanted to do and what I wanted to do. And I talked my way back in A&M, and I finished with the 3.0, which is not that big a grade when your first 3 semesters are 1.8, 1.2, and 0.6. So getting to a 3.0 is a pretty darn good grade. You know. And then I got my master's. And then along the way, I did various jobs and became the vice president. And so part of the message today is you can do anything. You just have to be persistent. And I'll go a little bit more about that in my remarks. And I know this is the award ceremony to recognize your all's good work over the past several days. But I want to suggest that whether you win or not tonight, you have already achieved success. Just by choosing to be a part of the NHI Great Debate, you have demonstrated that you are ambitious, courageous, and committed to making meaningful change in your world and driven towards building your community straight from the NHI website. So congratulations. You're already winners. Give yourself a hand. Did anybody read the sign on the front of the gate? There's a stone that's engraved right on the front of the gate. Everybody knows what it says?
Enter with hope.
It says, enter with hope. It says, enter with hope. And there's a story about when we built that gate. That sign was made years ago, like back back in the 1930s and 1940s. And when we built the new gate, somebody dropped it and cracked the sign. And we had to figure out what to do with that sign. And we decided not to make a new sign, but to put it back and fix it. And so you go out there, you'll see a little crack in that sign. And so when you think of hope, what do you all think about? What does hope mean to you? Just shout it out.
Faith.
Future. What else?
Inspiration.
Inspiration.
Believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself.
The Latino community.
Yeah.
Status quo. So what the dictionary says hope is a feeling of expectation, a feeling of trust, a desire for a certain thing to happen. So let me tell you a couple stories about hope, a couple of hope stories. One is a young man named Matthew. Matthew was a good kid. He was born in a small town just outside of Kerrville. He always made good grades. He made high scores on his SAT test. He was gritty. He was involved in everything. He worked while he was going to school. And when he arrived at college, his involvement continued. He did everything. Anything that he was asked, he did. And he continued to make good grades. And he joined every organization. He was aspirational. He wanted to be the student body president. And he became the student body president not only 1 year, but 2 years. Upon graduation, he became a valedictorian. And at graduation on May 6th here on campus, he gave a valedictorian address. You know, he set his sights high, and he achieved what he set out to do. And upon graduation, he's working at one of the big four accounting firms. Matthew was always going to be a success. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. He was persistent and went for it. So there's another young lady, her name is Katerina. Here comes the tears. Katerina wasn't like Matthew. In school, she wasn't a scholar. She leaned into her social self. She had lots of friends. She participated in 4-H and was involved in her church, including volunteering for the church food bank for the homeless and went on several mission trips. She just was not a good student. She finished in the bottom quarter of the class. She knew she wanted to go to college. She was ambitious and she was brave. She applied to a couple colleges. And the college that she really wanted to go to turned her down. She picked up the phone and said, "This is what I want to do." They gave her a path. She took that path. She graduated in 3.5 years. She got a master's a year later. And now she's a social worker. She's helping keep families together. She's helping to protect young children who need protection. She's following her dream. Two very different students and two very different paths. But what they had in common was they were ambitious. They were brave. They knew what they wanted and did whatever it took to get what they wanted. They both had expectations. They both had trust. Trust in themselves, trust in their families, trust in the colleges they chose. That they would have professors and staff walk hand in hand with them to help them be successful. They both had desire that they would graduate and be prepared for meaningful work and purposeful lives. Let me paraphrase from Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 10. Whatever your hand finds to do it with all your might. For there is no activity or planning or knowledge or wisdom where you are going. seems the author of Ecclesiastes foresaw the world in which we currently live. The news is not always good, whether from Uvalde or Ukraine. It seems we live in a world of uncertainty with no activity or planning or knowledge or wisdom. But in such a world, there is opportunity and there is hope. There is opportunity and hope. Do it with all your heart. If you live with and courage, if you commit to making meaningful change in your world, and if you're driven to build up your community, there is hope. You are hope. I hope to see you on campus again someday. If you want to be a student here at Toronto, come talk to me. I can help. And I hope that as you make your college and life decisions, that you do it with courage and wisdom. Thank you.
All right, let's go ahead and continue. Thank you so much for those beautiful remarks. I want to take an opportunity to recognize our tournament staff. I'm going to have all of y'all come up here. If you would do me the pleasure of waiting until the end of the list to applaud, and then you can go at it. So our tournament staff, our extemp draw directors, Penelope Macias, Austin. Category directors, Oratory, Trey Lopez, RGV. CX, Maya Castillo, Corpus Christi. Mock trial, Lupita Venegas, Houston. And extemp, Santiago Gonzalez, El Paso. For Athenium, the directors, of course me, for House Maxwell, and for House Magnolia, Marina Flores. Director of Judges, Ren Lejas, San Antonio. Alexander Torres, North Texas. Assistant Tournament Director, Isabella Zapata, RGV. And our Tournament Director, Jared Quintero Opatowski, San Antonio. Let's go ahead and give them a huge round of applause. Run. We know that y'all put in the work and we greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Not only are we proud of this tournament staff who worked hard every moment, but for our participants and our staff that came and helped with our participants, thank you so much. This journey, while only 4 days, may have felt much longer some days. And we know that you pushed through it. But the truth is, while this program is coming to an end, your NHI journey is not. We have our next program, the Lorenzo Dezavala Youth Legislative Session, as well as the Collegiate World Series following that. And we all would be so lucky to see you attend and hopefully volunteer and work with us to continue this legacy of the National Hispanic Institute. We know how bright, how intelligent, how motivated and ambitious you are. And we can't wait to work with you. So thank you. Go ahead and give yourselves a round of applause.
I am thankful we got the sound working. I won't be hoarse by the end. For those that are watching live on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, our NHI alums and our parents, we want your involvement with us. For those that may have felt disconnected, we ask that you come back to the organization and get involved. And I shared with all the students, this is our rebuilding. This is the foundation. Your work is the foundation for years to come and sets the tone for the great debate. But this work doesn't happen without the leadership in the communities of those individuals who went to the programs, who stayed involved, who volunteered through college and as professionals, in return to carry out the work and the legacy of the individuals before them. And so we are going to ask our project administrators to come up here in just a bit. When I call you and the assistant project administrator up here, I would like for you to come up to the stage. And it's our small token of appreciation of the students that you brought and the staff that you brought, and a plaque as we celebrate. But we also have another special award called Most Improved that the head coaches, project administrators, and assistant project administrators evaluated all the students from start to finish, and you will receive a Most Improved award as well. So at this time, from my hometown of Austin, Texas, the project administrator, Natalia Chapa-Mills, and the assistant project administrator, Marina Funes, if you could please come up to the stage and receive a plaque, and then I will announce the Most Improved. So ladies and gentlemen, your project administrator, Natalia Chapa-Mills, So when I asked why this person, the response was this person's energy has become infectious over the last few days. Their enthusiasm for their peers, the tournament, and their personal growth caught our attention for this award. And ladies and gentlemen, the most of Julia Chaplin.
The next region that we would love to have their wonderful project administrator come up from is Corpus Christi. We have Lainey Alanis Villarreal. Corpus Christi. For this participant was selected because of her tenacity, dedication, passion, and her willingness to grow. From the first meeting, Brianna was the most quiet kid, but the growth the coaches have witnessed throughout the past 4 months has been tremendous. She went from being afraid to speaking out of line to confidently speaking her mind. Congratulations to Brianna Figueroa for being most improved.
A big round of applause for Corpus Christi. Our next region comes from the far west part of Texas, and the project administrators could not be here. One of them, whose own daughter came through the program, stayed involved, and she signed on as a project administrator, and even as her daughter graduated high school and went on to Stanford, she stayed involved and continues to stay involved, and she really wanted to be here with us during the great debate, but her own daughter is graduating from Stanford University. So I do want to recognize our project administrators from El Paso, Tracy Navad and Katrina Garza, for the great work that you're doing during this. I wish they were here, but I'd like to invite to the stage the assistant project administrator and head coach to come up and receive the plaque First, Mr. Nicolas Gonzalez, Assistant Parks Administrator, and Head Coach Christina Lee. When asked to describe this individual as why they chose Most Improved, this participant was initially tentative and unsure when they spoke and would sit back and wait for guidance. That has turned into confidence, and a confident leader that is able to offer guidance and reassurance to their teammates, and they have become a wonderful speaker. He is a great addition to our El Paso region. Ladies and gentlemen, your Most Improved from El Paso, Alvaro Alvarez. Vasquez, my apologies. Alvaro Vasquez, ladies and gentlemen. My apologies. A big round of applause for El Paso. Although the birthplace of NHI was out of Austin, the roots come from Houston, as our president and founder was born. And so it is with great pleasure to invite to the stage the project administrator from the city of Houston, Paula Hernandez. I just want to recognize Paula's commitment as you were working hard in your master's presentation on Saturday. When she finished, she got in the car and immediately drove over here to be with Houston. So Paula, thank you so much. When I asked them to get together with their team, they replied back with this comment. She hardly spoke at the beginning, but consistently went outside of her comfort zone to improve her speeches. Ladies and gentlemen, the Most Improved from Houston, Celeste Landero.
Thank you so much, Houston. Let's give a round of applause for Houston. This next region is one of a few that are close to my heart. This project administrator is one that truly helped in my NHI journey over the past several years, and I am blessed to be considered part of his family, to be close to his children and his cousins and all of them, and I love them so much. And the project administrator for North Texas, George Rodriguez. When asked to decide who their Most Improved was, they decided that this person, this participant, had overcome her shyness and never gave up. She always persevered and represented the team North Texas with so much integrity. Could we please have Olivia Ritchie?
This next region, I filled in as an interim project administrator, but it really fell on the leadership of these individuals who did the real work down in the Rio Grande Valley, and I'd like to invite them to be able to hand off the most improved. If I can have the head coach, Jesus Beliz, come in, our chaperone, Laura Lopez, and Claudia Ramirez for being here with us, and our assistant administrator, Maria Montoya. If you all could all please come What I love about these individuals is when it's time to step up, NHIers step up, and I want to thank you all and our parents for being here, riding the bus, being consistently over at the local level, boarding the bus, and being with us here. When I asked them to give me some information about this most improved, this is what they shared with me. The following participant has demonstrated time after time the growth and the true culture that the Great Debate upholds and truly values. They were able to show this was much more than just competition, but rather a process in which they believed they could progress, and were able to do so. Round after round, and practice after practice, you truly showed what it means to withhold the true passion of leadership. Despite the many challenges, making coming back to your community, aiding future generations at any cost, worth it. Congratulations to Devany Hernandez for being most improved. Sincerely, the RGV team. Ladies and gentlemen, most improved, Devany Hernandez. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for RGV.
This next region is, once again, another close to my heart, but one that began my NHI journey, one that created this passion for me that truly never ended. If I could please invite up the project administrators for San Antonio, Anita Fernandez, and the assistant project administrator, Larissa Cortez. When asked about their most improved, they said that this student had exemplified what a young student leader is. They have seen him grow and improve not only as a student, but as a person over these past 6 months. And he has become an essential part of the San Antonio team. He has worked so hard throughout this whole process and has supported his peers in tremendous ways throughout this experience. Most improved for San Antonio is Simon Ramirez. Let's give a big round of applause to the San Antonio.
In our final region, the dynamic duo, and I have a great memory of one of them in your participation. I often talk about you, but I cannot thank you all enough for what you do in your home region. I'd like to invite the project administrators from Tipa, Texas, Jorge Lee and Ale Montelongo. And I'm just going to put Ale on the spot really quickly. As I remember those rounds at the competition, day one, and felt like, you know what? maybe someone judged me incorrectly and was really worked up about it, and we had our conversation. And I challenge you, or what are you going to do with this here? It's kind of this frustration and this energy, and she poured it into, was it Athenium or impromptu back then? Athenium? And she turned around and won it, and look here, she's the project administrator, so thank you again for sticking that energy back into NHI, into your local community. When I asked Tip of Texas to describe their most improved, they said this participant returned to mock trial 3 days before the program and put in the most hard work and effort in the region has seen in a long time. He also managed to win all 4 rounds and advance to the Sweet 16. The most improved for Tip of Texas, Adrian Alfaro. Now, are we ready to give out these awards? How about we skip the awards and go dance? You don't want to dance. Our order of awards. We start with cross-examination, followed by oratory, extemporaneous speaking, mock trial. Then we will announce the Athenium winners, and then we will get all the way down to the regions that will take home second runner-up, first runner-up, and our champions. So at this time, I'd like to invite to the stage not the first or second place winners, but the All-State winner. And the All-State winner is the individual who had the highest average but did not advance to the finals. And for the All-State winner for leader, and when I call your name, please come up to the stage and receive your award from Corpus Christi, Linda Villarreal. And ladies and gentlemen, the All-State winner for the member category of All-State is Fatima Mejia from El Paso. Moving on to second place for cross-examination for the 2022 Texas Great Debate. Your second place winners from El Paso, Monet Munoz and Victoria Garrido from El Paso. And ladies and gentlemen, your first place winners from San Antonio, Mara Flores and Aaron. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for our cross-examination winners.
The next category that we will continue with is oratory. As a reminder, the The All-State Award is the award for the student or team that has received the highest average that did not make it to this single elimination rounds, to the finals. Thank you for that correction. Our All-State winner for oratory is from Tip of Texas, Camila Garcia. Our second place for oratory from El Paso, Texas, Melina Balcorta, and our first place from Tip of Texas, Ana Buchon. Is extemporaneous speaking. The student with the highest average receiving the All-State Award from Houston, Texas, Bella Garza. From North Texas, Sofia Garcia. And our first place recipient from Tip of Texas, Katie Longoria.
And a big round of applause for our extemporaneous speaking winners. Big round of applause. And our final competition round of mock trial. Our all-state winner for mock trial for the attorney from Austin, Isa Matamoros. And our second all-state winner for mock trial for the witness from Texas, Marifer Caballero. Ladies and gentlemen, our second place winners for the 2022 Texas Great Debate in the event of mock trial from Tip of Texas, Regina Garcia and Emil Gonzalez. And ladies and gentlemen, your first place winners the cross-examination, oratory, extempore mock trial winners. Now moving on to Athenium. And the way I'm going to do this is that I'm going to call the top 3 speakers from the showcase up here, but I also will ask that their teammates stand and be recognized. Unfortunately, we're missing some of the Athenium awards, but we promise that we will get them over to you. But our 3rd place winner of the speakers, when I call your name, please come to the stage. From House Maxwell. Yareli Ovando from RGB. Is a team event, right? So they go through this process here and they're supporting each other to get their teammates up here, but I do want them to be recognized. If you could just stand and let me call everybody before we applaud them. From your teammates, Alejandro Carizales from San Antonio, Robert Valdez from San Antonio, Christina Pansy from RGV, and Bruno Zuniga from North Texas. The 2nd place winner in Athenium from House Maxwell from San Antonio, James Hernandez. And just to recognize again that Athenium is a team event, let me announce everybody before we give applause. Esme Rodriguez from Houston, Jacqueline Herrera from RGB. When I call your name, stand up. Brianna Figueroa from Corpus Christi and Siana Degante from Austin. Thank you. And the 1st place winner for the speakers from San Antonio and House Magnolia, Tabitha Kennedy. And your fellow teammates, if you could please stand, Devany Hernandez from RGV, Emily Chapa from Corpus Christi, Andy Morales from El Paso, and Allison Alvarez from North Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for our Athenium speaker winners. Thank you very much. And again, we're missing our Athenium box. But I did want to recognize the way that we did the scoring is I shared every student that competes gives points towards their region, total region points. And so we have our top 3 teams starting off with 3rd place, and I'm just going to recognize, and you can cheer about it, but the 3rd place team, region team in Athenium was from North Texas. The 2nd place team in Athenium goes to RGV. Yeah! And your 1st place winners in Athenium go to San Antonio. So we are at the end. We can skip this and go dance, or we can announce. I don't know which one we want to do. But before we do, let's give a big round of applause for all the participants here. For the great work And let me share with you again, for those that are new to the Great Debate, the way that we coordinate the tournament room is that we are capturing every round that you participate. So every time you show up and you compete, regardless of the outcome, you are giving points towards your team. We take the total points and then we have a ranking. Our first place, second place, and third place. A lot of times people think that Athenium doesn't count, and it was pretty significant to a point that we got to the third place, and it was a matter of 49 points in there to the Athenian efforts, and it was close. So at this time, I'd like to call to the stage the project administrator and the assistant project administrators or head coaches to the stage to receive your plaque for second runner-up for the 2022 Texas Great Debate. Ladies and gentlemen, we invite to the stage El Paso. Stay on up here, stay on, get your pictures, thank you. Thank you, let's give El Paso a big round of applause. And I think that's about it. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm just playing with you. Your first runner-up for the 2022 Texas Great Debate, and we say first runner-up just in the event that the champions can't fulfill their responsibilities for the year, then the first runner-up receives it, and then the second runner-up. But our first runner-up for the 2022 Texas Great Debate, being back in person after 3 years, and a great tournament, goes to San Antonio. Gentlemen, our champions for the 2022 Texas Great Debate goes to Tip of Texas. ahead and grab a seat, Tim. Before we close out, the awards, again, congratulations, Cliff. Congratulations to all the regions that competed here this weekend. You make the Great Debate fun. And I often share with students, or often I describe the Great Debate. If I can have your attention really quickly. I often share there is no better program out there than the Texas Great Debate until you announce the champion. Because for some reason, people often define their successes based on win-losses, where they rank. As I shared and challenged you all from the very beginning, that the narrative that you begin to create based on your experience is what are you going to take away from your experience from where you were to where you are now through this journey and then where you're headed. As I often shared that we need great leaders like yourself to really rebuild our communities, our NHI communities, as we're building leaders for the future. And we ask that you stay involved. And you know what? It may sting or it may motivate you, whatever it may be, stay involved. Reach out. Go to your school, reach out to your community, begin to look for that new talent that we're going to bring in, and let's double the size of this program and continue to grow it year after year. The project administrators, head coaches, fellows, everybody back home that have all contributed, parents, to making this program, we're here, and that's worth celebrating. So give yourselves a big round of applause. Tonight we celebrate. We celebrate the accomplishments of our community, and I want to thank everybody that was watching live, whether it be YouTube or on Facebook or Instagram. We appreciate you sticking with us for this past hour and celebrating and showcasing our great talented students out there. And again, thank you to all the volunteers. You can go ahead and turn off the live stream as I go ahead and give us a few